The purpose of us doing this is simply, other than the fact that we're a gym and obviously we are providing facilities for people to come in and do classes and also do workouts, we're trying to educate people on what we feel is the best way to maximise their physicality, okay, so basically getting the most out of their body. We're looking a little bit now in goal setting, okay, and we're going to use SMART, just basically to abbreviate that in setting our goals. Whenever we think SMART and whenever we think goal setting, okay, the first thing you should be thinking about is specific. Again, I'll return back to Joanna's picture. She specifically knew what she wanted to do. Okay? She didn't come in and say, I'd like to be 10 pounds lighter. She said, I want to look like this. Okay, and there's no questions asked, that's what I want to look like. So it needs to be specific. If you're looking to see a result, no matter whether it's weight loss, fat loss, getting a new job, getting a promotion, whatever it is, you need to make sure that you've specifically set yourself a goal to do that. Otherwise it's not going to happen, because it'll just keep dwindling on and just eventually it'll never happen. It also needs to be measurable. So whenever we're thinking of fat loss or weight loss, obviously in the gym, the first thing you think of to measure how your success is, a lot of people go to the scales, okay, so they'll look at the scales and see how their weight's coming down. And you can also look at your body fat percentage or maybe the circumference of your waist. You know, you can take a measurement. So you need to be able to measure your progress. Otherwise you're not going to, you know, again, you're not going to be able to have an idea of how you're progressing, why they need to kind of kick on or why they need to slow it off or whatever it is. It needs to be measurable. It needs to be attainable, which is what is probably, I think, probably the most important one. A lot of people come in and set themselves targets which, you know, they're going to find it difficult to do. Okay? It needs to be something that you know that you have the possibility of doing in the time frame you're talking about. And same with realistic. It has to be realistic. Okay? Can't be something. Can't be looking to lose 2 stone inside 4 weeks before your wedding. You know what I mean? You can't do that. You need to give yourself time, a time frame to work through. And tangible is really, it needs to be physical. You need to be able to see physicality. You need to see results. Okay, so again, if you're thinking of fat loss, you're probably going to look at clothes, or if you're looking at maybe increasing your muscle mass, you're looking at maybe your body fat percentage coming down, and maybe your weight going up slightly, and obviously looking at a more athletic and more muscular body. Okay, so again, it needs to be physical. You need to see physical results of that. This is just basically the roadmap to success. If you're missing out on any of these, you're going to struggle. Okay, you may eventually get to where you want to be, but what will happen is it'll maybe take longer. Okay, so first thing you need to do is you need to know your destination. You need to know what your goal is and what your target is. The next thing you need to know is you need to know where you're starting from. So what's your starting point? So again, that's why it's important that you come to somewhere like Sky Fitness where we're trying to educate you and help you to achieve your goal, and we find where your starting point is. And that's why we do an initial, you can call it induction stroke 1-to-1, where we give you a program based on where you're at, and then every 4 to 6 weeks we try to progress you on. Otherwise what happens is, which happens in a lot of facilities, is you go in and you'll get a program which is Joe Bloggs made up for a random, could be made up for Julie and Brendan doing the exact same program. And then after time your body just becomes used to it and you won't get anywhere. Okay, so this, you need to know your starting point, and then obviously you need to move forward from there. You need to then draw your map, so you have a program. Your program should include not only training, but it should also include other habitual habits and daily life stuff like your food, timing of your food, and what types of food you're eating on the days you're training, what types of food you're eating on the days you're not training, all this. How long is it going to take? Again, how long is it going to take for you to achieve your goal? Set the benchmarks along the road. So again, if you've got a year target, rather than having a big long-term target, set smaller benchmarks along the way. So say for instance, every 8 weeks you want to be at a certain point, and then after obviously the 12 months, you're going to be at the point you want to be where your final goal is. Take the direct route, okay, go the motorway, don't go the back roads. Know what your target is and take the fastest route to it. You got to trust the map. There's going to be points where maybe you're going to plateau. Again, there might be people in this room, I'm sure there is, people who have maybe been training for a while and they've got to the point where they've thought, I'm not really seeing a physical change. There's a reason for that, okay? Your body has become accustomed to what you're doing and you're not doing the right thing any longer, okay? So you have to trust the map. So you might get to that point where you're plateauing off. That's where you need to ask one of the guys to help you. Maybe you need to take a step back and reevaluate what you're doing, and maybe you've went off track slightly. Go with the cruise control. Boom, put in the paddle, go the whole time, push hard, stay between the lines, so don't be going off, I mean, if you want to have a cheat meal every now and again, if you want to miss a workout, that's okay, but you got to get back on track again. As I said before, slow puncture, don't throw the car away, okay? And then you got to keep your map. So once you finally get to your target, and you've achieved your goal, rather than just disposing of what you've done and your map and your program that you've used, keep it, somebody else can use it, or perhaps you might actually need it in the future. Okay, so again, you got to keep a hold of it. This is just a summary of the metabolism. Okay, basically, you want to burn as many calories as possible through your resting metabolic rate. So I spoke about that 60%, right? We want to try and burn as many calories through that 60% as we can, right? So the faster we get a resting metabolic rate, the better. You want to burn more calories through the thermic effect of feeding by adjusting your meal frequency and also manipulating the macronutrients, which is basically the type of food you eat. The thermic effect of protein is twice as high as the effects of fats or carbs. Okay, so again, the types of foods that you eat determine your metabolism as well, right? If you're eating lots of carbohydrates and lots of fats, it slows your metabolism down. If you're eating more proteins in your diet, it increases the protein synthesis in your body and it increases your metabolism. Okay, and that's why we try to encourage people to take protein. We're not just saying it for the sake of it, we're doing it for a reason. So this year also we're talking about the timing of your feedings and the frequency, right? See that if you eat like 3 large meals in a day, that's only 3 points a day where you're firing up your metabolism, which is why we say to you should eat smaller amounts more often. So you're constantly feeding your metabolism and you're constantly keeping your heart rate elevated, or your metabolism elevated, so you're burning calories and you're burning body fat all the time, okay? Again, which ways we can affect that, as we spoke about training as well. You want to burn calories through metabolic disturbance. Okay, this is my favourite word at the moment, metabolic disturbance. You probably hear me saying that all the time, right? See, metabolic disturbance, that is the key to changing metabolism. Okay? This here, we're speaking about your resting metabolic rate. That's your 60%. This here is your 30% we spoke about before, where you're actually induced by exercise. See, the higher the intensity you train at, you're going to create APOC. APOC stands for excess post-oxygen consumption, okay, which basically means once you've done a workout, how long does it take your body to return back to this normal state? Okay, so whenever you've done, say for instance you've done a workout and you've finished off your workout by maybe going for a 20-minute run on the treadmill, okay, at 9 kilometers per hour, okay, nice and steady. Your metabolism and your heart rate and your oxygen consumption will return back to normal quite quickly. It might return back to normal within 45 minutes. So basically, in that period where you finished your workout, to the 45 minutes your metabolism has returned back to normal and your oxygen consumption, APOC, has returned back to normal. You did 45 minutes of additional calorie expenditure there before your metabolism has went back to normal. Does everybody understand that? Right? So what we want to do is we want to try and create a metabolic disturbance which will create a longer APOC period. Basically, the higher your intensity you train at, the higher APOC. So the higher the intensity you train at, the longer that you're going to burn calories post-workout.